Imagine being called strange, slow, and untalented as a child. Imagine teachers thinking you would never achieve anything in life. Now imagine that same child growing up to change the entire world forever. This is the unbelievable story of Albert Einstein, the man who proved that being different can become your greatest strength. And by the end of this story, you may never look at failure the same way again. Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879, in Germany. When Albert was a baby, nothing seemed unusual. But as he started growing up, his parents noticed something different. He spoke very late compared to other children. In fact, some people say he barely spoke properly until he was around 4 years old. His parents worried constantly. People around them whispered that maybe the boy was not intelligent. At school, things became even harder. Albert was quiet. He didn't enjoy memorizing lessons like other students. He asked too many questions, and many teachers did not like that. One teacher even told him, "You will never become anything in life." Imagine hearing those words as a child. But inside Albert's mind, something special was already growing. He was deeply curious about the world. He wanted to understand how everything worked. Why does light shine? Why does time exist? Why do stars move? Questions filled his mind every single day. One day, when Albert was still a young boy, his father gave him a small compass. Albert noticed something mysterious. No matter how he turned the compass, the needle always pointed in the same direction. He became obsessed. How can something invisible move the needle? He wondered. That small moment changed his life forever. For the first time, Albert realized that invisible forces existed in the universe, and from that day onward, he wanted to discover the secrets of nature. While other children played games outside, Albert spent hours thinking deeply about science and mathematics. He loved solving problems. Numbers made sense to him in a way people sometimes didn't. Even though Albert was brilliant, traditional school became painful for him. Teachers wanted students to obey rules without questioning anything. But Albert questioned everything. He disliked strict discipline. He hated memorizing facts without understanding them. As a result, many teachers thought he was lazy or rebellious. Some students ignored him. Others thought he was strange. Eventually, Albert left school in Germany and moved to Switzerland. There, life slowly improved. He finally found teachers who encouraged independent thinking. For the first time, he felt understood. Albert became deeply passionate about physics and mathematics. He dreamed of becoming a scientist someday. But life was about to become difficult again. After graduating from college, Albert expected to quickly find work as a professor or scientist. But nobody wanted to hire him. Days turned into months. Months turned into years. He applied again and again for teaching jobs. And again he was rejected. Albert felt frustrated and lost. Imagine having big dreams, but nobody believing in you. Eventually, he accepted a simple job at a patent office in Switzerland. His job was to examine inventions and technical designs. It was not glamorous. It was not his dream. But that ordinary office changed history forever. Every day after work, Albert continued studying physics on his own. Late at night, while the world slept, he filled notebooks with ideas and theories. He refused to give up. Then came the year 1905. Albert Einstein was only 26 years old. Working quietly in a small office, he published scientific papers that shocked the world. One paper explained the strange behavior of light. Another explained atoms. And one paper introduced a revolutionary idea called the theory of relativity. Einstein proposed something unbelievable. Time and space were not fixed. They could change. The universe was far stranger than anyone had imagined. Most people could barely understand his ideas, but scientists quickly realized something extraordinary. This unknown patent clerk was a genius. Soon, Albert Einstein became famous across the scientific world. Then, Einstein introduced the equation that would become the most famous formula in history, E equals mc squared. This simple equation changed science forever. It showed that energy and matter were deeply connected. Even today, people all around the world recognize this formula. It became a symbol of intelligence and scientific discovery. The boy, once called slow, had now transformed humanity's understanding of the universe. As Einstein's fame grew, so did the challenges around him. Germany entered dangerous political times. During the rise of Adolf Hitler, Jewish families faced terrible persecution. Because Einstein was Jewish, his life became unsafe in Germany. He left the country and moved to the United States. There, he continued his scientific work and became one of the most respected minds in history. People admired not only his intelligence, but also his humanity. Einstein spoke about peace, freedom, kindness, and imagination. He believed curiosity was M. Albert Einstein eventually became the most famous scientist on Earth. But his journey was never easy. He was misunderstood as a child, rejected as a young man, ignored for years. Yet he never stopped learning, never stopped questioning, never stopped believing in his ideas. And that is why the world remembers him today. Not because life was easy, but because he kept moving forward when nobody believed in him. Maybe people doubt you. Maybe you feel different. Maybe life is moving slower for you than everyone else. But remember Albert Einstein, the quiet boy who struggled to speak, the student teachers criticized, the young man rejected from jobs. That same person changed the world forever. Sometimes the people who are called different are the ones who change history. So never let failure decide your future, because your greatest strength may be hiding inside the very thing others don't understand yet. If this story inspired you, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story with someone who needs motivation today. And remember, the world may doubt you today, but tomorrow you could change it forever.